sur ma chaîne. Welcome to my channel Itinerary. Today we have a book, one of my lovely books that a friend had given me because I love Art Deco. It's called New York Art Deco, A Guide to Gotham's Jazz Age Architecture by Anthony W. Robbins. I have read this before, so I'm sorry if some of you have already seen my reading, but I'm not going to be reading as I normally do, like page by page, but I'm going to be just page flipping, maybe reading some things here and there, but a different style of video, like as I've been doing, like the page flipping videos, the finger licking videos, whatever. Not so much of just reading. So we can get to this. I love the way these pages smell. It's got those shiny, kind of strong smelling pages, and they've got the shiny, quite thick pages. I really like that. So it says New York Art Deco. I want to read the little intro. It says, with the publication of New York Art Deco, everyone, from the city explorer to the armchair reader, can now experience Anthony Robbins' dynamic Art Deco walking tours. Robbins not only discusses the city's famed Deco skyscrapers, but also identifies the spectacular but little-known Deco gems spread across the city. This book is a must for those who love New York and thrilled to Art Deco architecture. That was quoted Andrew Scott Dogart, author of The Row House Reborn: Architecture and Neighborhoods in New York City, 1908 to 1929. Look at that beautiful picture. Empire State Building, superimposed over a map of New York State designed by Oscar Bach and located in the Fifth Avenue lobby of the Empire State Building, photographed by Megan Weatherby. How beautiful is that? It's a guide to Gotham's Jazz Age architecture. It says, to the Art Deco Society of New York, educated New Yorkers about the city's Art Deco wonders for 30 years. Just want to read. It says, Art Deco, a name coined by the curators of a 1966 Paris exhibition looking back at 1920s design. The curators derived the name from the title of an enormously influential Paris exposition of 1925 devoted to contemporary trends in all the visual arts. Didn't know Art Deco that term came out in the 60s. How interesting. Because in the 1920s they weren't themselves calling it Art Deco. Anyway, but it's not that far ahead where they named it, you know. Okay. Try and smell the visual arts. Exposition. Oh, it's French. So it changes the way I read it. Exposition internationale des arts décoratifs et industriels modernes. International Exposition of Modern, Industrial and Decorative Arts. Though Art Deco can be found around the world, in North and South America, Europe, parts of Asia, and Africa and Australia and New Zealand, in New York City it has a particular flavour developed in the city's great skyscrapers. Though the term Art Deco can refer to all kinds of architectural design trends from the 1920s to the 1940s, it's often used specifically to refer to the vertical style of late 1920s skyscrapers. The term moderne, a shortening of the term style moderne, generally refers to buildings from the 1930s and 40s with a horizontal rather than a vertical orientation and noticeably streamlined curves. WPA moderne refers to government buildings commissioned by the Works Progress Administration during the Great Depression Such buildings often combine modern styling with a stripped-down version of classical columns and arches. During the 1930s, the style became known as modern classic. For the most part, this guide focuses on the earlier buildings but does not include several notable later examples. Goes into New York in the Jazz Age. The skyscraper architects, the art of advertising, filtering out and down across the metropolis, the fall and rise of Art Deco. A note of itineraries. Itinerary number 1, from Bowling Green to Wall Street. The walk begins at the steps of the former U.S. Customs House facing onto Bowling Green at the foot of Broadway. It's got a map here. Walk halfway back across a pedestrian bridge, stopping in the middle and look east. Walk east along Morris Street toward Broadway, stopping halfway up the block. Follow Morris Street east to Broadway, cross Broadway and look back at the building's Broadway facade. Walk north along the west side of Broadway. The strips of paving in the sidewalk list in chronological order the names and dates of some 200 ticker tape parades. New York's official welcome to visiting dignitaries and heroes. The parades named here date from the 1930s. Continue north on Broadway, past Exchange Place, the Rector Street to Wall Street and Trinity Church. Continue past Trinity Church until next to the churchyard, then turn around for a view of 1 Wall Street at the southeast corner of Broadway. Walk back to Wall Street across to the Broadway side of the building. Walk east along Wall Street halfway down the block to see the skyscraper's entrance. Continue east to the corner of Wall Street and New Street. Walk east to the end of the block of Nassau Street. Turn left onto Nassau Street and walk north half a block. Turn east to look at 70 Pine Street. Walk east along Pine Street, cross William Street and walk up to the main entrance to 70 Pine Street. Continue east on Pine Street to the corner of Pearl Street. Turn left on Pearl and walk north to the northeast corner of Fletcher Street. If you duck west on Cedar Street for a moment, you will see the other entrance to City Service with the second statue of the building. Further to the north stand 5 buildings on John Street forming the Insurance District. Walk north along Pearl Street to John Street, cross to the north side of John Street and turn around to see Front Street of number 116. I would be so confused with these directions. Turn around to see number 111 John Street, directly across the street from North 116. Walk west along John Street to the corner of Cliff Street. Civic Center and Tribeca. The walk begins in front of the American Stock Exchange at 86 Trinity Place, directly opposite the rear of Trinity Church between Rector Street and Thames Street. I don't know if Americans pronounce it like that, but in London we have River Thames, so we say Thames. I don't know what they pronounce it like. Okay. Walk north along Trinity Place, which after crossing Liberty Street becomes Church Street as far as Cortlandt Street. Continue north on Church Street to the southeast corner of Vesey Street and look across the intersection. Cross to the north side of Vesey Street and then to the west side of Church Street. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing any of these names wrong. I've never lived in New York, so I don't know. Walk back along Church Street to Vesey Street, turn right and walk west along the north side of Vesey Street as far as Washington Street. Turn right on Washington Street and walk north to the building's main entrance. Continue walking east on Chambers Street to the intersection of Chambers, Hudson Street and West Broadway. Turn left north onto Hudson. Itinerary number 3 from Murray Hill to Gramercy Park. Walk begins at the northeast corner of Park Avenue and East 38th Street in Murray Hill. Walk along the north side of East 38th Street, halfway down the block and look across the street. Cross to the south side of the street for a closer look. Return to the corner of Park Avenue, turn left and walk south on Park, staying on the east side. Continue halfway down the block toward East 37th Street. Cross East 34th Street to the south side of the block and walk to the middle of the block for a better view of the Empire State Building. Walk south on Park Avenue one more block, staying on the east side of Park, and cross to the south side of East 33rd Street. 3rd Street for a view of 2 Park Avenue on the west side of Park between East 32nd and 33rd Streets. Cross Park Avenue to see the ground floor detailing storefronts and the entrance of 2 Park Avenue. That's pretty. Look. I love gold and black. Itinerary number 4, the Garment District. The walk begins at the northeast corner of Broadway and West 41st Street. And then Murray Seise's 7th Avenue was quoted. 7th Avenue in the city of New York between 35th and 40th Streets is not merely a geographic location, it's a legend. It's the birthplace of miracles. It's the fast-beating heart of an industry whose bloodstreams course through America. Quite deep. Bickford's 488th Avenue, Stockart and Company, 1929. Hotel New Yorker, 481 8th Avenue, Sugarman and Berger. Itinerary number 5, 42nd Street, east to west. Our walk begins on the southwest corner of East 41st Street and Tunnel Exit Street, halfway between 2nd and 3rd Avenues, facing the rear of the Daily News building across 41st Street. Look. Chrysler Building. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed my reading of New York Art Deco. and have a great night.